So today feels like a good day to do a deep dive into what is really manifesting your reality. Because it's easy to forget in the noise of all of the techniques and all of the urges to compare your results to somebody else's results or your reality to somebody else's reality. In all of the noise, the 3D noise that seems to be a symptom of manifestation culture, we forget the bottom line of what is really creating our realities. So today we're going to talk about it, and I intend that this really grounds you, that this really brings you back to your center of like how simple it is to manifest, but also what you really need to be focusing on to manifest, especially if you've been in that mode of like obsessing over manifesting or constantly looking for the next like secret answer that you think is out there on how to manifest, or like do this secret technique or what. Like if you've been in that mode, this is definitely this video is the cure for you, that's for sure. But as always, before we get into it, I will introduce myself to anyone who maybe doesn't know me yet. My name is Genevieve and I am a manifestation coach. And sometimes it just makes me laugh to say that because it feels just like such an interesting box to put myself in. But that's technically what I am here on this channel, and I aim to be very helpful to you. I try to break things down in a way that makes this more relatable, that makes it like common sense, that makes this feel like, oh, okay, I see the deeper thing that I can just easily apply. That's what I try to do here on this channel. So if you like me, you like the way I talk about this, there are lots of ways to work with me. There are courses down below that you can start doing right now. You can book a call with me, although there's a little bit of a wait to do a private call with me. You can also do group coaching with me if you join the top tier. It's the platinum tier of the membership on this channel. I always do a group coaching call with everyone there at on the last Saturday of the month. So yeah, there's lots of things you can do. So check out all of those links are in the description below. And if you don't do any of those things, but you just got a lot out of the free content that I offer here, especially this video that you're watching right now, please like this video and subscribe. That really helps me. Okay, let's get into this. As I start this moment with you, I want you to really just pause with me and acknowledge that this moment that you are in right now, this moment that me and you, we are in together right now, this moment is all that exists. And for some of you, this is a grounding reminder because there's already a part of you that really accepts that this now moment is all that exists. But for some of you hearing this, you might have an ego that is really confused or is really arguing with me and is like, well, no, Genevieve, I have a lot of memories of the past, and I have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen in this next moment. And then, oh wait, the next moment, and oh, now we're in the next moment. My ego is very, very good at anticipating the future moments, and it's very, very good at replaying the past and remembering and putting everything in the linear box. And so for a lot of us, before we come into conscious manifestation or non-duality, it's really normal to relate to life in the past and in the future. And it's really not normal to relate to life like it's only happening right now. But the deeper part of you, the soul-led part of you, your higher self, your operant power self, all the different names you can give the bigger soul part of you, knows that right now, you and me in this moment that I know goes away so quick and then there's another moment right behind it, but in this moment, this is all that exists. How do we know that this is all that exists? Because it is objectively the only thing you're experiencing right now. You are only ever experiencing your own consciousness moment to moment to moment to moment. And the only reason it's moment to moment to moment to moment is because we do live in the dense 3D plane at the moment, and it is time-based. So it makes everything condensed into moment to moment to moment. But the goal for you is to realize that you are only ever experiencing your own consciousness, and you're only experiencing it right now. The past does not exist. You know it doesn't exist because you can't go there. It's only something you visit in your mind. It's only something you relate to through your consciousness, even though you know, oh, well, I've existed since July 5th, 1992, and that's just a random date that I just made up. So if that's your birthday, I'm extra connected to you. But anyway, what I'm trying to say here is that even though your ego knows your physical being, your physical body might have appeared on this planet at that time, you can't go back to anything in the past. Everything that did exist in the 3D past is dead. It is completely gone. We can't go back there. You can only relate to it through consciousness and through your consciousness. Let's put extra emphasis on only you through your own consciousness can relate to anything from your past or your future. That's what makes you the operant power of your reality, because only you can relate to anything in your consciousness the way you choose. So everything in the past is only real to you through the way you're choosing to make it real right now in this moment. What you just made real from the past, it is now, but it's only now because of the way that you are relating to it right now. And the same thing goes for the future, but the future is a little bit different because we don't have that objective memory, although memory is not objective at all. But the only difference between the future and the past is that the past is like a shared thing. Like other people from the past can usually corroborate with you and be like, oh yeah, I remember that thing happened. Whereas the future, quote unquote, nothing has happened yet. So no one in the 3D can corroborate with you yet about future physical events because they haven't materialized at all yet. But technically the future is just as dead, just as unreal as the past is dead and is unreal. So yes, this is extremely Eckhart Tolle, what I'm telling you right now, but we really needed to get deep into this remembrance of how we're thinking as manifestors and how we're knowing our true nature as manifestors. Because if you keep relating to yourself, to your consciousness, to your life, as if you are trying to do something or trying to manifest something so that it'll happen in the future, and you're basing all your probabilities or all of your current moment emotions, they're all tied up in what you're freaking out about from the past, that you're constantly analyzing from the past, that you're taking these past sound bites and memories and you've made them into these concrete, again, in your own consciousness, you've decided this is a concrete fact that me and my operant power consciousness is true and it's a burden to me and every moment I'm constantly struggling with it. So that's what I'm trying to fix so that my future can be different. Do you see the insanity of all of this? Do you see how manifesting becomes quote unquote difficult when we are trying to manifest in this way that's obsessed with the past, also extremely obsessed with the future, and trying to, like, in a very resistant way, like mold things based off of what we've already experienced and what we think we should experience and blah, blah, all of that. It sucks. It sucks to be in that kind of suffering where we're constantly referencing the past, we're constantly obsessing about the future, and we are forgetting that all that manifests is what we keep taking seriously moment to moment to moment. Because remember, you only exist right now. Right now, this moment that I just captured you. This is all you have. This is your entire life right now. Nothing else exists except right now. There is no future. There is no past. There's nothing to strive for. There's nothing to run from. All you have is right now. Maybe even pause this video and just look around your room and feel into your own body and acknowledge, whoa, I only exist in right now, in whatever I'm acknowledging, in whatever I'm feeling, in whatever I'm focusing on. That's all that exists. There is no past, there is no future, and all of this stuff that I keep taking seriously in my mind and logicking is like, oh, well, that's a logic thought from the past and I got to figure that. All of that is not actually logic. It's actually insane. It's insane to keep going to the past as a reference and then also to be freaking out about the future, which is also, as we said, it's also dead. It's also not real. And I should clarify, when I say dead about the future, I don't mean that the future isn't happening and that like nothing's going to happen in the future. I mean that the idea of the future, the idea that something exists outside of this moment is a fallacy. It's a dead idea. to think that you don't have something now and you will have it in a future that literally doesn't exist because the future doesn't exist, that is dead. That is a dead fallacy. So I just want to clarify that in case you guys are like super confused about, I just said dead and future at the same time and now your mind's blown. Because of course you are creating the future, but you've got to stop thinking about it as if it is in the future, because nothing's in the future. What is appearing in the reflections of the future are just reflections of whatever you were thinking before, whatever you were thinking in this now moment. It's like the stars in the sky that have been dead for millions and millions of years, but we see them now, but they were actually alive a million years ago, but it's only now that we're seeing them. That's like what the future is like. It's like a hologram of whatever you are taking seriously now in this moment that is the only moment you have. The future is a hologram of what you are taking seriously now. So this is why all the manifestation coaches and teachers and all of the people online say that you have to live in the end. Why do we say that? Because if you're not living right now in this moment, that yes, it's done. It's done. I have it. I've literally already arrived. I literally have nothing to want for anymore. Whatever it was that I was worried about and I was freaking out about and I was depressed about and I was emotional about, I can just leave that alone now. I can just take my focus off of that because in this now moment, I have this crazy gift that I can put my consciousness, I can put the conscious focus that I have on whatever I want. God gave you this amazing creation ability through your free will. And free will is simply that you can direct your focus. You can change your focus. You can make choices in your focus. You can decide what's meaningful to you and what's not. You can decide what applies to you and what doesn't. And again, it's all happening right now. It's not something you'll do in the future. It's not, oh, after I've healed enough, maybe I'll get there. It's not, you've got to stop thinking of this whole thing like it's a process, even though technically it is a process because you've got to choose in the now to now to now to now moment the same choice, the same direction. So that's the process. But right now, I really want you to get out of that way of thinking that there's some sort of future process and make it so simple that whatever you're taking seriously right now, whatever you're deciding is the true state of things for you, that is what is real. That's the only thing that's real. Because remember, the future's not real. The future's not going to prove it to you. The future's not going to give you your manifestation. You give it to yourself right now in this moment because you decided it's done. And that's why manifesting is actually extremely freaking simple. You just make it hard because you're still very attached to this, again, this way of thinking. I said, the past you got to freak out about. The future, you're so used to living in the past and future that it's difficult for you to just decide, actually right now, it's done. It's really done. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to even figure out. In my own powerful consciousness, I'm going to bring my focus to relief and knowing that it's done, that I've arrived. There's nothing left to do. It's just done. And in all the future now moments you get, the next now and the next now and the next now moment, you keep your focus on that, or you bring your focus back to the doneness. That is what eventually changes the entire course of your life. Because again, the future, it does not exist yet. It is being created by you now. Whatever you're taking seriously now is what that mere hologram will eventually show you in the future. You don't get to decide how and when it shows it to you though. And it also shouldn't matter because again, as a conscious manifester, you know the real manifestation doesn't happen out in the 3D. It doesn't happen in linear time. It doesn't happen by a physical thing validating you. It happens now because you validated yourself, because you decided, I am so powerful and I am so trusting and I am so surrendered to my higher power that I just know that it's done. And I'm so faithful to myself that I keep picking that in every now moment that I'm presented with. I keep picking that it is done. There's nothing left to do. It is done. And you're not using the past as a reference for the possibility of it being done. And you're also not looking at the future for, oh, I hope the future proves it to me that it's done. You're letting that go. The past and the future, again, they're just dead holograms. You are only ever experiencing your own consciousness. You're only ever experiencing your self. So you have to treat yourself differently. You have to train yourself to think differently, to decide differently, to have different self-talk, to take different thoughts seriously and to take other thoughts not so seriously. Even the love you have for other people is just you experiencing yourself. It feels like it's that person like causing love in you, but really the people around you are just helping you to feel the love that's always been inside of you. And it just so happens to be that they're lucky enough that you're directing that love towards them, but it's not them causing the feeling of love. It's your love. So when you step into the doneness of your love, that like it is safe to feel it, it is happy now, it is a committed, loving, chosen feeling right now that you're giving yourself because it's you experiencing yourself. Again, the love you feel for someone else is just you experiencing you. So if it's just you experiencing you, just have it now and don't make all these weird complications based off of 3D stuff in the past and again projections of what you hope the 3D will do in the future. Stop making the 3D so powerful. You are a being put on this planet to create in the 3D, not be overpowered by the 3D. The 3D is, again, it's very dense. I get it. I live here too. It's a hard, dense world. But just because it's a dense world doesn't mean it's a powerful world. It's still just holograms. Nothing is more powerful than your consciousness. And again, that's all you're experiencing. Just your consciousness. Everything is filtered through your consciousness. So you are responsible for deciding, is your manifestation done right now, because this is all you have right now, or would you like to continue to struggle over dramas of the past or decide you're not healed enough or blah, blah, blah. There's probably a million variations of things that you have decided to be bothered about today. And again, if you want to, I'm not even judging. If you really want to stay in whatever you've been in, that is totally fine. Because you, again, part of the free will thing is like, if you want to choose suffering, maybe there's value in that for you. You can keep doing that. But a lot of you just have like this amnesia, like you've just forgotten that like, oh, actually this problem that I'm holding on to from the past, it doesn't exist. It only continues to exist because I keep it alive in here, in my consciousness. I keep it alive, but it's just an energy. It's not really a 3D problem. It's an energy I keep alive. But I could just decide that I don't play with this anymore. I don't take it seriously anymore. I take this, my doneness of all the manifestations, I take that seriously now. You can choose that at any moment, and it really is as simple as that choice. So that's it. I feel complete with that. I just really needed to give you that today because I feel like, again, we just forget sometimes in manifesting. We get so caught up in the 3D wounded parts of us that just so badly want, oh my God, I just want it so bad. I want my 3D results so bad. And you're not going to get it if you're staying in that dominantly, that like yearning and desiring and looking up like, how do I get my thing like in 2 seconds so that I'm finally feel good. That's not what manifests. You don't feel good after the 3D gives you something. You have to choose to feel good before, in a really grounded, consistent way. You have to choose to feel good. You have to choose to have yourself and acknowledge, again, you're only experiencing yourself. Even if you're SP or whatever, you get $1 million tomorrow, it would still just be you experiencing yourself, even in the face of that 3D stimuli. You always have choice of how you react. You always have choice in what meaning you want to give something, if you want to make it meaningful to you or not. And now is all you have. Now is all you have. Remind yourself of that every moment if you have to. Get out of the past, get out of the future. Now is it. What are you deciding is true for you right now? Because that is what will change the 3D hologram in the future. All right. Thank you guys for being with me today. Please let me know if you have any thoughts or questions in the description below. And I will see you guys in my next video. All right. Bye.